Nic Pegg. Joining me on the line is, in fact, Rebecca Richardson, and she's going to tell us all about her work with rehoming rabbits and the animal refuge. Good evening to you.
Good evening. Yes, well, thank you for having me.
No, it's our pleasure. Before we talk about the wider issues of rabbits, there's been a bit of a rabbit problem out in Brighton, hasn't there?
Well, yes, Brighton and sort of east, I guess, east of the city in the red zone where there was a lot of properties that weren't able to be rebuilt. Those, yes, red zone sections.
So were they domestic animals that became feral and started breeding, and what happened there, do you think?
Not so much. I don't believe so. They are feral rabbits that have cave into the red zone. Just unfortunately, the virus that's been released isn't just targeting feral rabbits.
Oh no,
Um,
they
yeah.
released the virus.
Yes, there's been many different types of viruses released, but there's the new strain of calcivirus that was released recently.
I know you don't want to hear this, but I had the opinion that rather than releasing a virus, that they
Mm.
should have gone in there and shot the rabbits, the feral ones, rather
Well, to
than
be honest, I would
poisoning them.
actually agree with you. One, because you can be more specific in targeting what you're targeting, and two, it's far quicker. The virus takes hours to take a life, and it's slow and it's traumatic for the animal, and it's horrendous for anyone to see their pet to go through that.
And also, dogs can go in there and try and eat them and get poisoned. And just, I just don't. Was there any consultation about this? Was it the council or ECAN or who went in there and did this?
If there wasn't much public notification. I believe there was a little bit of warning, and I heard a rumour that there was going to be a drop, but then it was only after the drop that we're actually told that it was already done and it was released in carrots to target them, which of course dogs love carrots as well, so that's not great.
So let's talk about the wider issue of rehoming rabbits. How do rabbits come into your care in the first place?
Well, rabbits weren't going to be our main focus, but they seem to have been because they are the most neglected animal in our region. And I believe that's purely just because of people's, I guess, ignorance in the pet ownership of them.
So are most of the rabbits that you look after, they've formerly been pets and they've been abandoned?
Yeah, they're all domestic ones that have even been dumped, been found, were unwanted, like breeds, like they've accidentally bred them, or they've just realised that it's not a temporary commitment. That this is a 10 year, they live for 10 years and they need a lot of love and attention.
I had no idea there were rabbits in this situation. I mean, we know that there are cats that you know go from house
Definitely.
to house and don't necessarily live anywhere, and obviously there are stray dogs. But I didn't realise there was a domestic Flopsy Bunny rabbit problem.
Yeah, absolutely. It's one of our biggest problems, like I said before, as most people know rabbits as that, small furry animal in the cage out the back, but you would never put your cat or your dog or your child in a cage out the back of the property. It is blatant abuse, and the animals, of course, turn feral, as any animal would,
Mm.
and then they're rehome to us within a few years, even though they can live for 10 years.
So how are the rabbits coming to you? Are they being rounded up, or do you go and get them, or what happens?
No, I'm not usually involved in the rescuing side of it too much myself. Most of them have actually been surrendered to me. So whether people have found them because they've been dumped near their property or something, or people have just realised that they can't take care of them, that the rabbit isn't getting what it needs. So they've contacted either the SPCA or another refuge who's also full. So they've been handed down to someone who can finally take them, which is me.
So whereabouts are you?
We have just sort of set up in Woolston now. We're still building. So I've got lots of rabbits fostered out to different homes currently. So I'm trying to monitor that as well.
So I've been to a place where cats are rehomed. I imagine that the rabbit place looks pretty similar.
Um,
Lots of
well, it just
cages
looks
and
like No, you'd be surprised actually. It looks like a normal home. You come in, you sit down, I offer you a coffee, and then a rabbit jumps up on the couch next to you, demanding to have some of your coffee or pats. If you don't pat it, it will then start to dig at you or give you wee nips. There may be another rabbit at your feet. They're not everywhere. I have them in separate rooms generally because they're quite territorial. So they can't just be in great big flocks. But yeah, it's difficult keeping them inside until the other building's built.
Now, speaking to Becky Richardson, she's rehoming rabbits. How many rabbits, in general, are you looking after at any one time?
Personally, we have 10 in our home. So just the 2 resident rabbits that live like the cats would, as you'd expect, with the litter trays and the feeds, and they sleep in the bedroom with us. And then I have the others in different rooms separated into family groups or keeping the sexes separate till I can afford to get them desexed.
Now, unfortunately, with some animal rescue situations, if animals are not rehomed, they have to be destroyed. Have you had to sort of face this?
Not at this stage. I have had to put some down myself, and with all rescues there are losses, which is the hard part. I think the hard part for me is having to tell people that we are full and I can't take them, and then the person at the other end has to deal with disposing of the animal's life themselves.
Are you getting any funding by way of donations or appeals or anything like this?
We've only just launched recently, and we are looking for ongoing donations. So people giving a small amount, whether it's $5 a week or a month, long term, so that we can budget for that. We've had some appeals. I did a bulk vaccination after the virus was released. We did an urgent appeal and got lots of donations. One particular large one from Wesley's World, which make and sell wee bunny treats. So we do have one-off appeals, but it's really long-term support that we need to make real difference.
Now, I've never kept rabbits, so I don't know. What do they eat? Can people donate food to you? What do you need?
Yes, mainly rabbits eat hay and grass, so it's really cheap if you've got lawn. That's 80% of their diet. So I've got a good source of the hay at the moment, but always, hay is good. They're pretty much like vegan cats, so real fussy, can't have straw, can't have mouldy hay, can't have it if it's damp or smells funny. But other than that, just a few pellets and occasional bits of carrot or apple as treats they go crazy for.
So are the rabbits part of the wider work of the Otautahi Animal Refuge?
Yeah, they are our main focus at the moment, though. We've had chickens come through, ex-battery hens. We're on the list for ducklings at this time of the year, particularly prepping for that. Guinea pigs or anything around the small domestic. We're not focusing so much on cats and dogs. There's lots of refuges up and around for that, which we do, support fully. But at this stage, it's the smaller domestic animals that are getting overlooked.
Now, I saw that Duncan Webb, the MP, came and visited you, which is how you came to my attention, actually. How can
I
people?
went and visited him.
Oh, sorry, it was the other way around. So, how do people find you? Do you have a Facebook page, or what's going on?
Yep, we have a Facebook page. Though I'm hearing that people are having trouble finding it because they can't get the accent over the O for Otautahi.
Oh dear.
But you can find it under Otautahi Animal Refuge or OAR for the Animal Refuge on Facebook. Otherwise, we have a third party, is the easiest way to deal with donations, through Give a Little from the Spark Foundation. So the Otautahi Animal Refuge, we have the page set up there as well for people to make donations, whether they're one-off or ongoing.
Okay, well, what we'll do is after this program goes to air, it's about 2 hours long, and then we cut it up and then we republish the individual segments. So when we publish yours, we'll let you know what the link is, and we'll also put on our page the links to your organisation too.
Cool. I'll send you a few links through now if you like then.
Great stuff. Becky Richardson, thank you for joining us this evening here on After Dark.
Thank you so much for having me, Nick.
Good night. Coming up very shortly is Lisa Tregenza, She's going to talk to us about conscious movement to inner peace here on After Dark.